Good morning everybody, this is Mr. Lazy Legs and we are live in Mr. Lazy Legs HQ. It is Tuesday the 24th of November 2020 and it's coming up to 10 minutes to 10, and what we're going to be doing today is showing you how to create your own tracks. So the first thing that you need to be able to do is ensure that you've actually got the track builder, which is not free, so you need to come and get credits. So the first thing you do is come here, purchase your credits. They're not very much at all. Once you've purchased your credits, you can then add it into your basket, and then once it's in your basket, you click on your basket and then it'll come up saying what would you like to buy, basically. Okay. Once you've got the track builder, then you will be able to go to tracks and then my tracks, and then you basically create a new track. So for this instance, because how I build tracks is slightly different, because I'm a club organizer, we have a slightly different way of creating tracks, which means that we can do competitions on them. Whereas these tracks, you can only do multiplayer competitions rather than proper event esports competitions. That's the main difference. But just to show you that once you put in your test track, which is what I'm going to do now, and then you select your location, and I'll talk more about location in a minute, you can basically come in, and it's currently now in builder mode, okay, which means it's under construction. So you should be able to go, here we go, test track, Mr. Lazy Legs, and then you can actually go to it, pick your drone, go to creators, and there it is, Mr. Lazy Legs test track, which is now completely empty. And then you just press B on the keyboard
Builder active.
To get into
you can now move using
mode.
Mouse and WSD keys.
Okay, so that's how most people would get into it once you've got the track builder. As I explained, I do it a little bit differently, so I'm going to come out of this, and I am going to find my club, which is Southwest Drone Club, which is where all Mr. Lazy Legs events are under, and this is the one for tonight, and it's TFFN E3, so that's Tuesday's Fun Fly night, and it's episode 3. So I come into this, and it's the same principle. I come in and I press B.
Builder active. Okay. You can now move using Mouse and WSD keys.
Okay, good. So whilst you're in here, you can just press B again, and you can go back into your drone, and then you can just fly the track. Okay. So since several of the updates back, the playground, which is what this one is called, used to have lots of apparatus in, and you can still get the apparatus back if you wanted to make your own custom one by pressing F1, F2, F3. There we go, F3's got those. F4 gives you parts, and F5 gives you some extras, and F6 gives you the sequencer. Okay, so this would work for anyone. Now it doesn't matter how you get into this track builder, I just go into it a slightly different way. The reason that I use Playground more than anything now is because I stream all the events that we do, and there's something called the blimp, which if you haven't seen it before is a top look down on your track, and pilots are little round balls, and you can actually follow them as they go around the track, which is pretty neat. But it doesn't actually work on all the environments. So you've got the sports hall, the dome, the house. It doesn't work at all in the house because it's a house with a roof, so you can't see, and also the playground. So it will only work in part with the dome, because whenever I build small tracks on there, I never actually get the whole blimp to cover the track. Whereas with this, even though I don't think it's as big an area, I actually do get in the blimp everything in, which is what I'm looking to do. So how do I build a track? Well, everyone's different on how they go about it. I'm kind of, I would consider myself slightly unique in that I don't race. So how I run a track is basically just flow. It's how quick can you get around there and how smoothly can you. and then you balance that against technicality, as in, okay, you've got a drone, what do you want it to do to be able to get through certain obstacles? So it's all kind of different. Something else that's quite new, which is quite cool as well, is that you can actually change the start grid, which you couldn't before. Now, it's not quite as simple changing the start grid as it used to be. Well, actually, you could never do it before, but it's not simply you just stick the start grid. If I just press 7, oops, if I just press 7 to get a start grid, there's a start grid. Now, that's going to stay there, and it's going to stay here until I've saved the track to the cloud or local, and left, and then come back. That is when the original one would go. Okay, so it's important to remember that will stay there until you save, leave, and come back once you've placed a new track grid somewhere else. But I'm going to stick with the one that's there. So again, you can see that my drone is just sat on there. He's waiting, and he is facing this way. So this is the way that everybody is going to start. With part of the items that you can use, you've got a round light, like neon gate, or a square one. These two, 1 and 2, you can enlarge, so you can make the gate smaller. You've got a standard tiny whoop, round and square. The cube gate, which means that you can go through different angles, different sides to go through. The square wooden gate I use quite a bit. You can't enlarge that, it is what it is. And then you've got the poles, which are left turns and right turn poles. If you go to F2, you've then got a small play tunnel, which I'm going to show you the difference because the play tunnel is quite small. And then you've also got the infinity tunnel. And with the infinity tunnel, you've got the mirrors on the inside. So as you fly through, you can actually see the mirrors on your drone as you go through it. I'm trying to get low enough so I can go through it. There you go, like that. So that's the 2 types of tunnels that you've got. You've also got then LEDs, cones, and marker arrows to help you direct pilots which way they've got to go. You do have a sequencer when you're in solo flight, but when you're in race events, then you don't have the sequencer. And what the sequencer does is it changes the gate that you're next having to go through to white, regardless of what colour you have put it. And then you've also got a light pipe, which is pretty cool. And I can show you that basically, which is just that. And again, you can press the C to change the colour of it, and the plus to make it longer, or to make it smaller, you just press the minus key. Okay, so really simple. So for tonight's event, I am going to do something a little bit similar. What I tend to do, because I create tracks for leagues, I like testing out different types of application and different elements of tracks just to see how they work in real life. So I tried some on the Saturday event because I run a fun fly on a Saturday, a Tuesday. And I had an element which I kind of liked, but I want to expand on it. So I'm going to expand on it now by having a tower. So I'm going to stick the tower in, and I press plus to expand it, and I need 3. That's not 3. Can I go any higher? That's still only 2. Okay, I can't go any higher. I am looking, so I can go lower a little bit, because what I'm looking for is 3. There we go, 1, 2, 3. Okay, to make sure that you get everything square, what I tend to do is I press R, and then left click and R. Okay, and that basically makes it square, because sometimes if you look that line on the circle, if I put it at an angle and then I drop something, it actually puts it at that angle, which isn't always straight. So but I do want another tower, so I'm going to stick another tower, hopefully as close as in front of it as I can. So let's do this. 1, there we go. And using my arrow keys, I can then direct it where I want it, which is directly in front of that one, and again press R and then back again just to make sure that it is centered. And that is pretty much what I want. I just need it to go back a little bit. If it's not moving, even though they got your cursor on it, it's because on these big elements you have to actually put your mouse circle here on the white, otherwise it won't move. There we go. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a infinity tunnel. This is one of the elements that I use. As you can see, it wasn't quite straight, so it hasn't actually done it straight, but if I just do that, it suddenly becomes straight. There we go. This will also be a good test on how well I am at placing objects. So I want this to look as if it is in the middle. Now, the size, in fact, I don't think I can change that. Let's just see if I can. No, I can't. No, there we go. So I just need to put that back in the middle. There we go. So this is how I kind of do it, like that. I'm not quite sure that is as straight as I want it to be, but it is. But I'm assuming that this isn't particularly straight, so let's just move that over like that. There we go. Right, whichever way I'm facing is the way that the gate you'll have to go through, because the sequencer, it will show you the color of the gate that you need to go through next, but not which direction. So I'm now going to put in another infinity tunnel, and I'm going to put it up there. And I want it to go the other way, so I can just do that, and then I can press C and then change the color of it, and I think I want to be able to put that back a little bit. There we go. And now that's exactly how I want it. Put that forward a little bit as well. There we go. So the instrument is going to go through, back up, round, and back up. This is actually very similar to a track that I've done in real life. So I tend to build tracks, and I like to make it as realistic as possible. We didn't obviously have tunnels, we just used tables upside down. So we had one table with the legs sticking up, with another table on top of it, another table on top of that with the legs sticking up, another table on top of it, and that's how we made our in real life. So it's not exactly the same, but it's just another way of doing it. We're going to change this color again, and I'm just going to put them up, and I've got to change, there we go, that, and I want to put them back. There we go. And then once you've got an element that you like, you can actually test it. So you can just press B, get your controller out, like this, and then start. Okay, so we know now that they're going to be, when you come out, you're going to be this high as you come out of it, which is good. Okay. And then when you're happy, just press B again to go back into builder mode, and then you can basically decide how else you want this to work. Now the next league event that I'm doing is going to be based very much on speed rather than anything else, and flow rather than technicality, because it can't always be the same. So I'm just going to push, I'll just push 6. I don't want that one. Let's get rid of that. Press 1, 6, there we go. And then this is how we do ladder gates. So we bring the ladder, stick it on top, try and get it as close to the middle as possible, so it's just slightly easier for the pilots. And then to go on top, you just press the same number again once you've got it highlighted. there. Go up, and again, and again. And what I want to do obviously is make it the same kind of height as that. So as you come out, you can spin round. Okay. But I'm going to make this a little bit more difficult than that. Like that. Like that. Bring them back is too far. There we go, and bring that one forwards like that. So it's a bit like a ladder gate, but it's not in the line. It's an uneven ladder. That's what I'll probably call it. So go through, down, round, round, and round, and then we're going to put a candy cane in. So number 8. Now, candy canes are cool, but they are also the pilot's worst nightmare. So we're going to make this bigger by pressing the plus button. That makes the capture point, which is what's in red, bigger, and then R to rotate it. It does move out of your cursor sometimes when you're doing that. There we go, perfect. So it's always handy to know where that is, because you want to really put cones through it, or LEDs or something, and make sure that the LEDs go through the center, so that when the pilots come round, they've kind of got like a good indication of where they need to be to get caught. But we need to move this forwards a bit so that they can fly around nicely. Like that. And then we want them to... the one thing that this hasn't got that other environments have, because you don't have all these elements in all the environments. They're different. It's worth probably noting that as well, that they are different. Right, I want to put, instead of having a normal tunnel, I want to put one of these green things in, like that. And I can't enlarge it or anything like that. It is what it is. But I do want it lined up. So that as soon as you go round, you've got to aim for this. Oop, wrong button. There we go. So let's just bring them forwards a little bit. Let's put it straight on the line so it's easier. There we go. So now you come through, you've got straight through. Right. So obviously we can't really fit a gate there. So there's two things you can do. You can use a round gate, right, and put it on either end, which you can do like that. And then you can make it a little bit bigger so that it fits. And then you can just place it just over the circle like that. And then just bring it in. There we go, like that. That is one way to do a gate. As you can see, it's not actually, there we go, that's better. So now you've got to go through it. And you can put another gate on the end if you want, or not. The other way of doing it is you've got something called a capture gate, which is basically that red thing without any elements attached to it. And that is on here. So you could also, if you wanted, get rid of that, put in one of these, you enlarge it by using the plus and your left mouse or right mouse, depending if you're left or right handed, to make it bigger. And then what you can do with this is you can actually stick it anywhere except I do want it to be able to go through the bottom. There we go. And I need it to be a little bit bigger. So obviously you won't see the red part. So there you go. You've actually got it now going straight through the middle, and that will capture when someone comes through it. I think I need to make it a little bit wider. There we go. That is the gate capture. Now you've got to be careful that people don't cheat by not going through the tunnel and finding some other way. So always try and make it as tight as possible when you do use this, which is what I have not done. There we go. And then let's just lower it a tiny bit. So it just makes it more difficult for them. Let's just move it over a little bit. No. Okay, now I'm going to drag it to get it where I want. There we go. I'll just make it a little bit bigger. I think that'll be easier. So it gets both sides. There we go. That will capture it. Okay, so you come through round the spaced ladder, round the candy cane, through there, and then you've got to decide how you want to work this. Now, I kind of like, what I want to do is I'm going to put a chair here, and I'm going to line it up so that they have to go under this chair. And again, we can use really simply the number 5 again. Got to turn it around though because it's facing the wrong way. Obviously its arrows is telling you which way you've got to go through to trigger it. So let's just bring it round, and I'm going to put it here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and a little bit wider, like that. And then run it back a little bit. There we go. So you come through there, up round here, and now I want to try and put a gate on here, which is quite funny. So this just takes a bit of playing around, to be fair. I'm just going to see if I can... Oh, well, that was quite easy, wasn't it? So there we go. So now you come under here, round through this gate, and then we can do something here. So I don't really like candy canes a lot. I don't think people generally like candy canes very much because they're so iffy sometimes on when they get triggered. And it depends on how good a pilot you are, I guess. But I've had a few tracks that people have created where they use a lot of candy canes, and it's actually worked really well. And I think it's worked really well because of how they've been placed. So I'm just going to try and right, I'm going to need some space because I am going to need them to come down a little bit. So we're going to reverse that and make it bigger. So they have to come through this candy cane. No, through this candy cane. So they literally are going to have to swerve as they go around it. Okay, so I'm going to kind of speed up a little bit now. I don't do post publishing shit because I can't be bothered. So I'm just going to quickly now finish, because I'm not going to do all the elements. That's the wrong button. That's the wrong one. Is it? Yeah. There you go. But I'm just going to show you what I am going to do. There we go. So now you've got to go through that one. That one, that one, that one. I'm going to do another one here. 8. Rotate it. So you just you just click your left mouse button to rotate it the opposite direction. There we go. So you've got to go through, and I like these sorts of gates, so I'm just going to stick one there. I am facing it the wrong way, so it needs to go that way, that way, and then I'm going to put a ladder on top, but it'll be a split S. So we'll stick one on top, move over, and then right click because we want it that way, and then we want to move it back. So that will take them back. There we go. And then I think what I'll do is I'll do another one here very quickly. On top. Oops. Press U if you do something that you didn't mean to do. That will undo it. Bring this one back. There we go, like that. Actually, that's not in the right place, is it? But that don't matter because I can just put another gate here. I think I'll just put this on. Just make it a simple gate. There we go. So that as you go through, you've got to come a little bit to the left and then you're on target for the next one. Okay, let's just say that is exactly how we want it to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this to the cloud.
Saved OK.
And then we want to put the sequence in. So we put in the numbering of the zones. So let's do that.
Zone numbering has been reset. Now fly the track in the correct sequence.
So now we fly the track in the correct sequence like you just said. So let's just quickly do that. So this is going to be gate 1, or this is going to be the start. I might change that.
Gate 1.
Because that's gate 1.
Gate 2. Gate 3. Gate 4.
You've got to get it right.
Gate 5. Gate 6, turn 7, Gate 8, Gate 9, Gate 10, turn 11, turn 12.
Oops, missed that one.
Turn 13, turn 14, Gate 15, Gate 16, Gate 17, Gate 18, Gate 19. Zone numbering complete.
Okay, so that's complete, but I do not like what I've done at the start because I don't like having the problem that you've got with infinity tunnels is that if you bumble your way through it, it won't catch you. So we want to change that. So I'm going to put something else here to be the start, and because I want to try something with these candy canes, I'm going to use a candy cane. Let's use a 7, rotate it round, and I want to enlarge it, and I want it. Now this is going to confuse people because the first thing it tells you to do is to turn. We didn't actually want you to turn. Come on, look on. And then bring it over like that. Right, now let's save that.
Saved OK. Zone numbering has been reset. Now fly the track in the correct sequence.
Spacebar to refresh, and there we go.
Gate 1. Gate 2. Gate 3. Gate 4. Gate 5. Gate 6. Gate 7. Turn 8. Gate 9. Gate 10. Gate 11. Turn 12. Turn 13. Turn 14. Turn 15. Gate 16. Gate 17. Gate 18. Gate 19. Gate 20. Zone numbering complete.
Okay, when it's complete, click on Builder, save it to the cloud.
Saved OK.
Okay, so now whatever you do now, that is the sequence of the track. So if you wanted to do something like what I'm going to do now, which is make up my own special little gates using the candy canes, I can see where I need to be. So I'm just going to press an 8, and this is not going to be used as a counter, right? Because we don't want it to be used as a counter. But what we do want it to do is just have it
12.
Oops. Alright, so we just need to work out how far this needs to go in. There we go. So now only one of these have to be counted. If you were to do this to start with, it would be really confused, right? The system, it wouldn't know how to place you at all. So that's why we've done it the way that we've done it, like that. So now they've got to go through that candy cane, and then we've got to do basically the same with this one. And again, it doesn't matter which way it's facing because it isn't going to be counted. It is not part. It snaps far too quickly. There we go. And then we just got to do the same. There we go. So that is the canes we have to go through. Oops. There we go. Let's make it bigger.
13.
Missed. Bring it through. Oh, I didn't enlarge that one. There we go. I did enlarge that one, didn't I? Yeah. Just not that one. Nor that one by the looks of it. There we go. Okay, so we just need to drag. Get that one right. Bring it in. Another one. One more. There we go. That will catch you. And then we want this one. Bring that in. Try and line it up as best as you can. There we go. And that lines you up with that one. And then you can change the colours and whatnot. And I want to do the same with this one. Now that I've done it. And it just directs people, so when I do put the cones down, I'm not going to say it's easier, but it's just something different to fly through, isn't it? I suppose. Okay, let's bring them in. There we go. One more. There we go. Okay. That's that. And then you can go around and change the colours of them if you wish. So I'm just going to save that for a second.
Saved OK.
And then let's fly it. Oops.
Gate 1. Gate 2. Gate 3, Gate 4, Gate 5, Gate 6, Gate 7, turn 8, Gate 9,
oops,
Gate 10, Gate 11, turn 12, turn 13, turn 14, turn 15, Gate 16, Gate 17, Gate 18, Gate 19, Gate 20.
Okay. Obviously it's only I missed gates, but only because I missed a lap, but I didn't really miss a lap. So once you've got that all happy and trundle in and you're happy with how it's going, then the next bit is pretty easy. You can then change the colours. So I'm going to change the colour of this one to pink, and this one, because I like each section to have its own colour, so while I'm commentating I can explain which colour they're in. So I'm going to do the same with this one as well. So you just put your mouse over it and then you just change the colours. I'm going to leave those to green. I like to change these to different colours just so we can see how they're going through, but I'm going to change this colour. Where's my mouse? Like that. Let's just change it to red. Red, blue, blue. Let's change this one to yellow. And this one also to yellow. There we go. Okay. So now we've got to make sure that the pilots know where they're going. So this is where you can either choose LEDs or cones. So what's the main difference? Basically, LEDs came in because cones are quite tall. LEDs are really flat, and the light is quite tall again, but in between. Well, actually, I don't know if it is. Yeah, it does stick up a little bit. So when you're coming in and out of something that's on the floor, which hasn't got a stand, such as, see, that's got a little stand. So if I was to put a cone there, it's unlikely that you would come out of here and then hit that cone, because you're going to have to go a little bit higher to go through the gate. But it's entirely up to you how you do it. I'm going to put in the LEDs. So once it's in, I change the colour to red, and then I just keep doing that, so that when you come out, you just keep going red, 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 red. So what we're going to do is put in some more, because it's flat to the ground. When you come out of there, you don't want it to go straight into a cone. That's why we've got the LEDs there. Similarly with this one, as you come down, or you're going through this side anyway, so you want that to be the same as well. So I'm going to put in a cone, but it's going to be the light colour blue, so that folk know. Not cones, because cones you'll just bump your head, and it can be really frustrating if that happens. There we go. 3, 3. And because you're starting here, oh, it's a bit wobbly, it's a bit like a snake. Stick that around, not in the center, and there we go. And you basically just do this all the way around the track. And when you're doing ladders like this, you can either, I'm going to start using cones now, because you've only got a certain amount of LEDs. So with this, I tend to go round. So it's going to be blue, but dark blue, which is that one. And then I just put them round so they know which way they have to go. And then I use an arrow, which is number 5. And again, arrows you can make bigger or smaller with a plus or minus. There are going to be some different types of arrows, like swirly arrows, which are an oval kind of shape. They're coming up in one of the future updates, so that you can actually do these a little bit better than what I've done them. So that basically shows you that you're going to go around through the blue, and then I'm going to do the same again, but this time I'm going to do it in red because it's the red gate. Oops. Red. And then this just explains, I mean, I always do a fly through in a way, but I just think it's easier to do the arrows. It's just preference, I guess. There we go. So that's just showing you that this is the direction that you need to go in. So you come out through the blue, you go round, and then you're going to hit the red, and you go around again, and Bob's your uncle. And then you're going to come out the bottom. So as you come out the bottom, we can do the cone, change the colour to yellow, because the next gate that we're heading for is yellow. And again, this is where it's useful to know where the capture point is, because what you want to do is have the pilot follow the cones, and then that way they know that they're going to be captured as they go through it. So I'm going to stick to yellow, even though it's green. It's going to be carry on going yellow. Now, we don't want cones going under the chair, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put down an arrow and one of these. And we're going to stick it on top of the arrow like that. Oops. There we go. So it's basically saying keep going in this direction, and then we can put some LEDs down, because LEDs do not raise the floor. And you don't want them raised until after the trigger's gone, and they won't bump their heads. So we can just stick to the LEDs. Not particularly roundish, is it? Let's try that again. There we go. Next is green. So green, we can use the cones, because you can have an unlimited number of cones. So let's just change it to green. And we're good to go. So it's number I don't know what I did there. That's clever. I put it on top, that's why. Okay, so let's stick the cones down. So this is a not got very many gates fun fly, but it's not meant to. I'm hoping people will whip around this, and because we keep getting new people, it's always good that they know that they've got just an equal chance as everybody else, because the track isn't complicated. There we go. And then we want to come down. That's not particularly straight, is it? And then we want to go up. And now we go around to the pink. So again, we can still use cones. We just need to change the colour, because we're about to go to pink. There we go. Just line these up a little bit better. And then pink again. Round. Done. That's the track for tonight. Once you're happy with it,
saved. OK.
You save it. Job done. Let's just remove these a minute. And again, if I don't save it, it'll still be there. So I need to save it again.
Saved. OK.
Once you're happy with the track, in the instance of track builders for the Creators Club, you would come back to the track, click on tracks, click on My Tracks, and you need to untick this. Okay, and now that makes it live. So it wouldn't be live if that was in there, which means now people can come to browse, and then they can search for your track, and it'll be there. Well, it won't be there. Oh no, it's on the Creators. Muppet. So you've got to click on the Creators tab, and then put in test track, search, and there it is. I've got 2 test tracks. Okay, and that is it. That is how you basically do it. In my instance, I'm not worried about how long people practice. Oh, one thing that I didn't show you, actually, let me just quickly go back into it, because one thing I did not do, and I should have done, well, there's 2 things really, but one of the main things I should have done is, did I push the wrong button? Where's my mouse? Oh yes, I think I went to the wrong, no I didn't, I went to the right one. Let's go into that one a minute.
Turn 14.
There you go.
Builder active.
Alright, I need to put down a sequencer
and AWSD keys.
And also a so you can press, I think it's F5 on the, or F6 on this one. So we want to put in a root sequencer. This is what I was trying to explain. Oops, not there though. Like that, and also a leaderboard. There we go.
Saved. OK.
That saved it. And then this is what I was meaning. I can jump onto here, and now it'll make the gates light up. Obviously with the candy canes, it'll only light up one of them because only one of them is active. But as you go through, that didn't capture me at all, did it?
Gate 20. Gate 1.
Okay, let's just try that again a minute. I don't know why that didn't take me. It did. There we go.
Gate 1.
So as you can see, each gate, it changes.
Gate 2.
So it's blue,
Gate 3.
and now I'll go to white.
Gate 4.
White.
Gate 5.
White.
Gate 6. Gate 7.
White.
Turn 8. Gate
Won't do
9.
these white because
Gate
obviously there's
10.
no colours.
Gate 11. Turn 12. Turn 13. Turn 14. Turn 15. Gate 16. Gate 17. Gate 18. Gate 19. Gate 20.
I'm just going to test it quickly.
Gate 1.
I just want to
Gate 7.
Oh, hang on a minute, what have I done? I went wrong.
Gate 2.
Let's just try that again.
Gate 1.
Can't remember my own bloody course again.
Gate 2.
There we go.
Gate 3. Gate 4. Gate 5. Gate 6. Gate 7. Turn 8. Gate 9. Gate 10. Gate 11. Turn 12. Turn 13. Turn 14. Turn 15. Gate 16. Gate 17. Gate 18. Gate 19. Gate 20. Gate 1. Gate 2. Gate 3. Gate 4. Gate 5. Gate 6. Gate 7. Turn 8. Gate 9. Gate 10. Gate 11. Turn 12. Turn 13. Turn 14. Turn 15. Gate 16. Gate 17. Gate 18. Gate 19. Gate 20.
There we go, clear round, so it means I went through every gate. So there you go, that is basically it, and then we'll be able to go onto the leaderboard. Ooh. Came out of myself, that got weird. And then I'll be able to see me, and wherever else that now does a time. Okay, now you know how to do it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you get your creative flowing going. And if you're not doing anything tonight and you want to give it a go, TinyWorkGo is free. You can download it from www.tinyworkgo.com. Go to membership, fill out the tiny little form, ask for your name and email address, check you're not a robot, and you'll get an email through with the Mac link and the Windows link. Download it. Also in the email will be your little license code. Just copy and paste that in and you're good to go. Until then, stay safe. Thank you for watching.